Alright, hello. I am Bella, and this is my very first YouTube video. I am in a very imperfect setting. I just knew I wanted to make one today. I just got done studying. I really have to pee. And I'm in my boyfriend's car with no AC. And suddenly it's become like the perfect moment to do it. So, hello. I know that it's going to be pretty terrible for a while of me doing these talking head videos. Um, so might as well get started. That's why I'm not really attached to it being perfect, looking amazing, whatever. But I would say this is actually pretty good. Like, it looks pretty good. So that's a win. Maybe this will be the spot, you know? I don't know how the audio is, and I'm going to post it anyway, no matter what it comes out, because this is the process. And I want to get better at speaking. I want to encourage my neuroplasticity. I want to speak clearer with more conviction and be able to articulate my ideas, because I actually think quite a lot, and I read a good bit, and I'm in school for biopsychology into chiropractic, and I'm fascinated with the mind, with yoga, with consciousness and spirituality and our contribution to the world and holistic health and so many things, art, music, dance. But the core of all of my fascinations comes down to, like, one, radically living this experience, like, fully, not being afraid, going for it, doing the things that you're afraid of, doing the things that you're not afraid of, that you really love, and just being and experiencing every flavor of that, letting your consciousness be itself. I'm very much interested in that, and authenticity, and discovering what authenticity really means to me and how I can live and embody authenticity. Ways that I notice that I'm not being authentic. For example, I went through a season this year where I was so confronted with this, like, I don't know if this is like too, is that going to be so crazy? I don't know what is better audio. I guess I could have checked, but I'm not really going to do that right now. I was really confronted with a lot of my identity, because there's like these conflicting parts of my identity that had been kind of creating clashes in my life for a really long time, which were like this, like, impulsive and excitable and like grab life by the balls kind of energy, and then there's like also this, like, I want to be nurturing and respectful and compassionate towards other people's feelings and emotions. And I know that my more impulsive kind of go for it energy has, one, hurt people in the past, has hurt me in the past, has, you know, caused these like really terrible rifts in my life. It's also been incredible. I've traveled, I created art, I've, you know, bought a van, sold it, you know, I don't, I haven't limited myself in my life experiences because of that attribute of myself, but it's also caused not so amazing effects in my life. So I'm going through this experience over this year where I meet someone in late October last year, my partner now, and we get together. This is a pattern of mine where, like, I meet someone and I'm like, we're all in with each other and we fully connect, and then it's like we move in, we get super close. The past relationships wasn't like necessarily the most intentional move in. The first one was definitely not. It just like ended up hanging out all the time. The second one was more of an intentional move in, but it was like, well, you're here all the time and you want to work with me, so might as well just live here. And then this one was very much like, we're moving in together. So the whole time I'm like, and for context, from the second relationship, I had just broken up with that partner and been on my own for the first time in a while, left a job that I was living at, so it really just felt like, oh my god, like, I can breathe, you know? I'm on my own. I'm not in this job. I'm not with this person. I'm just like enjoying myself for a bit. And I was like, I do not want to be in a relationship, not at all. But I think that energy can be quite magnetic for a multiple of reasons. Anyway, so in this season, I meet my current partner on the first day of school, actually, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so I meet my current partner at the first day of school, and hopefully my lifelong partner, but I'm just saying current partner for the story. But yeah, so I meet him. It's nice, but I'm like keeping my distance because I know where I'm at, what I want to be, what I want to be doing, which is just like getting to know myself a little bit better, which totally valid, totally cool. But then there was this moment in time where it was like kind of like it just kind of made sense for us to move in together. Did it make sense to anyone else? No. Did it make sense to us? Yes. So it kind of made sense for us to move in together, but it brought up so much. It was like the most magnifying glass on this internal splitting that had been causing problems in my life prior to this moment, but it never became so extreme where it was like I was feeling the split within myself so deeply of like these parts of myself that seemed contradictory, which actually are not contradictory. I just didn't know how to communicate effectively. I mean, probably multitude of reasons, but definitely like my communication with others was very poor, and it's still not incredible, so that's like another reason why I want to make these videos. But yeah, so I decided to move in with this person. I'm actually living at my sister's at the time, which I just moved in with. I'd been gone for 2 years. We were so excited to live together and get to know each other better, and then, you know, I decided to move out. So there's this like shame that I feel really intensely of like this like impulsive side of myself, and then like the fear of losing myself again in another relationship, and all of this stuff. All of this stuff came up so much in these past few months. Actually, I don't really remember why I started the story, but I mean, I guess that's the point, right? Just start recording and see what happens. So yeah, so I moved in with my partner. It's like very much an intense first few months. I'm struggling in school so bad comparatively to like doing amazing in school. I'm just struggling. Ultimately, it was like really difficult. Like these two parts of my identity, like really, really fighting each other. Like, and so it just like took going through that process of like deep contemplation. Like I was in acute stress for quite a while, where there were 7. Like I wear a Whoop. Let me show you a Whoop, which records my stress, my sleep, and a few other things. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyway, so during the time, I would get notifications 7+ hours in a high stress zone. Meanwhile, I was not working out. It wasn't physiological stress. It was, I mean, physiological because it's my body, but not workout related stress. So you know, I was fully like, my body was experiencing this tension that I was holding so much. Like it felt, and I couldn't even communicate when I said that I wanted to move out with people. Like I would cry, but there was something in me that really wanted that. So I was like really confused why this split was happening so intensely. And I'm really looking back at it. I didn't even have this realization until I turned on the camera, which I guess is the cool part of making these videos. So I see the experience now through this lens of like, there was this splitting within my identity for so long of like the shame and the guilt of this like personality, like this big personality that I can have, and then also like the safety and the comfort of kind of being small, and in a way that was kind of painted as like this mindfulness person. And that's, I mean, she's so much a part of me too, like fully compassionate, fully understanding, wants to love people radically, wants to be of service to the world, wants to, like, you know, understand people and love people as they are. But there's, you know, it it's the self and the selfless, and they're contradicting each other, and they're not contradictory, but they were for me for quite a while, and I'm learning that now, that they don't have to be. I just have to not self-sacrifice. And the moment they become contradictory is when I self-sacrifice so much that the selfish actions become these large explosions instead of positive action in the world, or creating art, or creating, you know, these things that are filling my cup. So yeah, so come to present day. I've gone through that experience. I no longer feel this internal splitting. I actually feel like a deeper experience of reality in a way. Like, I feel more adept to changes and frustrations, and I feel less averse to confrontation. I feel less averse to hard conversations, which feels like I'm really growing. I mean, I can't explain the magnitude of which I've grown by moving in with this person in ways that I wouldn't even be able to explain properly even yet, I think. Like, it's just like continuously happening. So I'm just like immensely thankful for that. And I guess the lesson, or the takeaway from this video would be that sometimes things that are really good for you are still really freaking hard in the moment. And it's very cliche, but like the only way out really is through. And when you go through, you do get those moments, those deepenings, and those realizations of a deeper, more complete view of reality. And if something is confronting to you, if something really makes you emotional, because I was so emotional in this time. It was not logical, it was not calm, it wasn't like, you know, I was so deeply emotional in this time. So it's important, I think, when we have like excessively emotional reactions to things, to question them, because it's likely a pattern, less of like a appropriate reaction, but and they might be appropriate reactions. I'm not saying to suppress emotion, to ignore anger. This is where, you know, this is like, that ideology to me is where a lot of problems arise in disproportionate allocations of power, where, you know, it's just like this acceptance that you're a victim, and you're not ever. And even though there might be powerful people, that doesn't mean that you are not powerful. It's just the perception of power as evil, and as only evil, that keeps people small, I think. Because power is good too. And there's plenty of representations of that in our world. Power just gets painted as evil. So to be able to be a force, you still have to be a force, but you can be a force of good too in the world. So anyway, this is my first video. See you in the next one.